It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
Out there seeing new lineups, honestly. So, going out there trying to figure things out. I think, we all played basketball before. So, I think it's like a flow, honestly. So, as we get to going, I think it gets easier for everybody. And, that's how we play.
There's Isaiah Collier. The Utah Jazz fall to the Memphis Grizzlies 123-114. Had a nice first half. I was a little worried. I'm not going to kid you. But they came through solid in the second half and got beat by 9. All this tanking talk, put the Grizzlies on the list. Put Milwaukee on the list. Put Chicago on the list. I think we're up to 10 teams tanking now, which, by the way, is exactly what Brian Windhorst said. I watched him in an appearance early in the year when we were all hip deep in football, and I don't know why, but I saw him somewhere. And he was saying, you're going to be talking to me after the All-Star break. Exactly right. This draft class is supposed to be loaded, and there are teams fully committed, which means there are minefields all over the place for the Utah Jazz going forward, except tonight, he says, in a definitive statement that might age poorly. But nonetheless, I'm going to stick to it. Houston firmly committed to the playoff race, playoff positioning, and getting in the championship chase. And it feels to me like they are not. Feels to me like they are in the next tier of teams. Oklahoma City and San Antonio definitely are. I think that Denver and Detroit, some of you might argue they're not, but I think they are. I think those 4 teams for sure. I don't think Boston and New York have enough to pull it off. I don't think Houston has enough to pull it off. But, hey, if they want to convince themselves, sure, what the heck. That's, to me, the next tier. I don't even know if I'd put the Lakers in that tier, honestly. So that might be about it. So if you're playing one of the top 7 teams in the NBA and you're on the road and you're the Utah Jazz, you should be able to play a lot of people and lose. Now, having said that, Yusuf Nurkic is out. Parentheses, nose, close quotes, close parentheses. Keontae George is questionable with an ankle. Lauri Markkanen probable with an illness. So there you go. That's how it stands now. Now, if I've learned anything about injury reports, they can change dramatically between our show and tip-off. So stay tuned all day, and the guys will update you. Tonight, tip is at 7:30, so pregame show starts at 6:30 here on The Zone. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
The Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do I want to put Cleveland in that group and put them top 8? They played better. Maybe I should, but I really don't want to. But that's somewhere where I think about where Cleveland is. But Oklahoma City, they're the defending champs. They're 3 games in front of the Spurs. They have a problem beating the Spurs head-to-head. It's the playoff series I'm most looking forward to, assuming Denver doesn't wreck it by beating the Spurs earlier. But there you go. Other scores, always go with the brands. Don't go with the best teams. Celtics-Lakers in primetime last night, and the Celtics win 111-89. I don't know that Boston can do it. I just don't think they have enough to win a championship. But you got to admire the way that even without their best player, 37-19, and they're 19-10 on the road. Impressive. And I know there's a lot of bad teams out there, but nonetheless, impressive. And they go and beat the Lakers by 22. At the other end of the standings, I got to say, I'm now looking at games involving bad teams and check on all the bad teams. Indiana came close, but they lost to Dallas 134-130, which I think is actually what the Jazz want. They would like Indiana to catch them. I don't think Indiana will. I think Indiana will have worse record than the Jazz. Dallas needed to get win number 20 because Dallas is committed to tanking too. The Jazz are on 18 wins. Dallas moving to 19-20 is a big deal. It gives the Jazz a little breathing room with the Pelicans coming in for 2 games later this week here in Utah. And the Wizards did their thing. They lost to the Hornets by 17. The Hornets used to be bad, but like Phoenix, they have risen this year. Charlotte's just 4 games under 500 now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get back to 500. So for those of you who don't think the Jazz can turn it around very quickly, and I know a lot of you, the Jackson trade changed your mind. But there's still people out there thinking, they're really going to be that good? Yeah, I think they are. I think they can change it very quickly next year. And I think given whatever moves they make in the offseason, and we'll talk about that later this week, whatever moves they might make in the offseason will bolster it even more, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you're still doubting. The Nets lost. They went to Atlanta and got themselves beat 115-104. They're determined to be terrible. They're sitting on 15 wins. All right. Tyrese Halliburton, who's been rehabbing a torn Achilles tendon, was diagnosed with shingles. Will be away from the team for a few weeks while he deals with this painful skin rash / condition. I've never really known what shingles are. They always sound really bad. Is it like an adult version of chickenpox?
So it's the same virus that causes the chickenpox. So if you've had the chickenpox, you have the shingles virus in your system. It just flares up for different people.
Because I had the chickenpox as a kid.
Yeah.
So I've got it in my system. I just haven't flared up and I don't have a rash.
And from what I understand,
as far as you know,
it is horrifically painful at points.
Oh, so I shouldn't joke about that.
Yeah, no,
I'll stop with you as far as you know.
Yeah.
Karma, man. You do not want to invite this stuff into your universe.
You don't want that.
No, never mind. All right, well. All right, well, Tyrese Halliburton was already out, but now away from the team. There you go. All right, DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
They did it! The Cougars. Number one, they won. I mean, they've actually been a sub-500 team here for about a month. Number two, they beat a ranked team. Number three, they beat a top 10 team. How many times have they done that so far this year, Yak? What's the number?
Well, they're now 2-6 against top 25 opposition and 1-5 against top 10.
All right, they broke through. Yeah. And they've been talking about it, and I love that. You could hear it in A.J. DeBence's answer in the postgame. Well, we've been close, 2-3 points, whatever. And he just started listing the games. UConn, Arizona, Houston. I'm like, they've been talking about this in film sessions, in the locker room. And if you're going to turn bad stuff around, you can't stick your head in the sand and ignore it. You got to go ahead and talk about it. This is a problem. This is a goal. How are we going to get there? Yeah, we'll spend more time on this in the next segment. It's the question of the day, and a lot of you are commenting on our Facebook page and on Twitter. But, top line, who's going to pick up the slack for Saunders? The guy who's already picked up most of the load. DeBonsa. I really think he just put on the cape and was just swooping around the floor. I know it says BYU in his chest, but the only letter I saw was the letter S. Way to go, Superman. PK and I were willing to put more on him. Apparently, the head coach, Kevin Young, was willing to put a lot more on him. We literally sat here and had a discussion. He's got to do more. He scores a ton of points. Bucket getter, unstoppable. But the 4 rebounds and the losses wasn't good enough. He's got to do more. PK's like, he's already got a big load, right? Next game he comes out, he gets 13 boards. And then we're talking about, well, what about, the whole quote about he's going to collapse. And I just thought that was frustration and sarcasm from Kevin Young. So obviously, I applaud that. It was within the bounds. You can't go full Mick Cronin, and he didn't. Mick was just way across the line. But that whole thing is like, you're coasting too much. Because well, he's got to coast some. You just can't go pedal to the metal for 40 straight minutes. Okay, but if you want to win and you got to do more, and clearly they challenged him, and clearly he accepted the challenge. I love that quote. I'm not used to chasing guys over screens. That's what all these other guys are for, okay? But hey, do you want to win or do you not want to win? Now, how many times can he do that? I got no idea, but I'm going to tune in to watch and try to find out. I was very impressed. I thought that was just awesome. And there were other guys who had good games and stepped up. Now, how often can they all bring it together? And there's one other thing working in the Cougars' favor that they don't really control, but it's out there. And I think it was on display this last week, and we will get to that coming up in the next segment. As far as everybody else, oh, man, woulda, coulda, shoulda. So close. UCF scrapes past Utah, 73-71. Rare chance for back-to-back wins, get on a little roll, feel good about yourself. It doesn't matter a lot in the long run. I can't argue that it does. But I've been on a bad team. I've been on a couple bad teams. All right, 3 of my 4 high school teams suck. There, fine, I said it. Fine. And even when the season's going nowhere, when you start winning, practice just feels different. You go into the next game thinking you can win. I mean, we were terrible, okay? We were like, I don't know, 3-12, 3-13, 3-14. We were something awful. My senior year, we pulled a big upset, and then we won a couple more games. And when we lost and didn't make it 4 in a row, I was so depressed. And we weren't going in. We weren't going to qualify for the playoffs. This is before the era when everybody in the state gets in the playoffs. I was down in San Diego, and you had to be top 4 in a top 10 league. We weren't getting top 4. We were bad. Still sucked. So feel bad for those guys who didn't win, but that's the way it goes. And Utah State, it's not a platter. You had the lead. You had the ball. Get a defensive rebound. How many? Oh, my gosh. It felt like there was about a minute 15 where they had to defend because they kept not getting rebounds, and I think it was either the fourth or fifth shot Nevada finally scored. Get some stops. And if you can't do that, hit some free throws down the stretch. Plenty good enough to win, and it would have been a good road win. Nevada's tied for fourth in the league. They're a decent team, and they're probably going NIT. It's hard to know now. Now with the crown, I don't know where everybody's going, but whatever. They'll go to postseason, and it won't be the NCAA. They're a decent team. It would have been a nice win. Now the breathing room's gone. Aggies down the stretch. Hey, they got a one-game lead on San Diego State, and they're at San Diego State Wednesday. San Diego State is tied with New Mexico one game back, but after that, they got to go. The Essex got to go to New Mexico, play the Lobos in the pit. And the Lobos still have to come to the Spectrum, so plenty of drama left in the regular season title in the Mountain West, if you're into that kind of thing. There you go. And the Big Sky, that's one good team and 6 decent teams behind him. Weber State, one of the decent teams, blows out Montana, one of the decent teams, 92-71. And UVU keeps rolling with nowhere to go in the postseason, apparently. They beat UT Arlington 66-54. I was talking to somebody who had more info on that. That is a weird deal, not coughing up the $1 million. There's a whole strategy. Should they have paid the $1 million and sued to get it back so the players still have the access to the tournament? And anyway, apparently that's not going to happen. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Why don't more leagues copy the NFL? The NBA is sitting over here trying to tweak their rules. They're upset with tanking. The NFL's got this whole deal. I read this story about it. I know, super sports nerd on the weekend. What is wrong with me? I need to go outside and play. But I didn't. I read the story. So all the teams come up with their rule changes, and they all get funneled through. It just sounds like there's just a river of these things. They get funneled through the competition committee. And so a couple of things that came out of it is no team is proposed, and apparently all the teams propose all kinds of stuff every year. And Rich McKay, who's a competition committee co-chairman, so the commissioner doesn't have to take the hit on all of this, as Adam Silver takes the hit in the NBA. Just push it off to the competition committee. Adam, what are you doing? Everything. Push it off to him. There's no proposal to ban the tush push. I wouldn't envision it, but you never know. That's the quote from McKay at the NFL meetings there at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis this week. So brace yourself for another year of the tush push. A little bit of rugby in the NFL. Seattle Seahawks Jackson Smith-Njigba said he believes he should be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, which would be north of $40 million annually. Quote, I'm really not too pressed right now to get it done. I know my time is coming, and when we get it done, it's going to be a great deal. God's timing is perfect timing, so whenever that may come, we'll be ready for it. I believe I deserve to be the highest paid in my position. Just what I give to the game, the community, I give it my all, and I think that's worth a lot more. Well, I don't know about drawing the almighty into it, but that happens all the time here, so I'm trying to learn to roll with it. I don't know if you're going to be the highest paid, but you're going to be one of the highest paid. You've done it. You've helped your team win. You made big plays, and he ought to have a lot of confidence. And I'm assuming, was this on a podcast, Jock? Did he get asked a question somewhere?
So he's from the Dallas area. He was actually with WFAA down there. They were
really?
an interview with him, yeah.
Sweet. Players going on the radio and talking. Awesome.
And WFAA does both TV and radio, so I don't know which
I don't know
side
if it was
of
TV.
Yeah. But
Either way,
yeah.
It's getting so rare now, except in the NFL. They do push their guys in this direction. You just got to applaud it when coaches and fans say the truth and connect with their fans, and owners for that matter. I thought Ishbia was up in the night with what he said, but I applaud the fact he went out there and talked to his fans about what's going on in the NBA. Because lots of people just want to stay in the castle and pull up the drawbridge. So anything you can do to get out there. I love that Danny Ainge, I wish it had happened earlier, but I love that he's been coming on with Scotty G. And, it wasn't one of those deals where he did it 3 times, then he stopped. Lloyd was just talking about it the other day, about how Ainge has been really good about anything you can do, because teams are just, college and pro, are just giving up so little now. Just keep paying us some money and stay away from us. What? Give me more money, but stay away from me. I hate that attitude, but anyone who could break out of it, bravo to you. Andy Reid. How about Andy Reid talking to his people? Because everybody in Kansas City wants to know what Travis Kelce is going to do. There's communication. That's the main thing. I've said this before. As long as there's communication, I'm good. That means people want to move forward. I think that's where Travis is. He also made a point of saying I'm not speaking for Travis, which I thought was wise. The thing about Kelce is, number one, let's face it, he's clearly slipped. Number two, he's not as explosive as he was. But the veteran savvy and experience, all the stats about what he does in the red zone and what he does to get them first downs, that guy moves the chains. There is value for him. Can he be as dominant as he was when he was 28, 29, 30 years old? Nope. But is he a big-time difference maker still? Yeah, just not in the way we're used to. But keep that offense on the field. Oh, and I read some stuff about the draft we have to get into, combine time. The Chiefs are picking, are they picking 7th or 9th? New Orleans is 8th. They're either right before him or right after him. The Chiefs are picking so early. Beautiful job tanking Kansas City. Yeah, they tank in the NFL. Don't kid yourself. They're either 7th or 9th. And they're being linked to Love. Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, who was a highlight machine. Is that going to translate to the NFL? Just the juice to make that offense flow again? Assuming that Patrick Mahomes' knee is healthy, play action, a legit run game that can get him 5 yards on first down, second and short with play action, that offense could be a beast again. We'll see how it works out. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
My wife has made it a point of not being the centerpiece of this show. I refer to her as honey. I do not even use her name. Speak of me positively, but speak of me rarely, if at all. My kids had the same line. Hey, we're not props in your show. Leave us alone. We got our own life. We don't need to deal with you. Basically the message I was sent for years at home. So I don't mess with that, except this one time. My wife, like a lot of you, and like actually us occasionally, it's just like, they're paying football coaches how much? They're paying them what? Are you kidding me? Kurt Signetti finalized his new contract with the school that will pay him an average of $13.2 million annually. Now, I have not told her this, but I know I'll get the, you're kidding me. You're kidding. But there was a story that I read, and I put it out on social media. So if you go through my social media, it's out there. I haven't deleted it. You'd have to go way back, though. But someone broke down what's happened to Indiana admissions with out-of-state students. And literally the whole math of this is what they charge in-state, this is what they charge out-of-state. Here's what they're getting from the international students now. This is the amount of money he's created, and this is what they get every 4 years. This is because the students come, they're coming for 4 years. And so it's like the return on his $13.2 million is awesome. I mean, they laid out how the school can make a couple $100 million in a year. It's phenomenal. It's like it's a no-brainer to give them that money. And even when my wife was done, and she is prone to raising the eyebrow, she's like, wow, she went full Gordon Monson. Those numbers are astounding. Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar's college career is effectively over after his request for a temporary restraining order was denied by a judge. He argued his 2 seasons of junior college shouldn't count against his clock. For the life of me, I don't know how Pavia got that. I don't know. And I'm surprised that everyone else didn't get it because he did, but I don't think anyone should have ever gotten it. The junior college has always counted against your clock. I know everything's changing, but that is bedrock stuff. And finally a judge said, yeah. And we're like, but it's for the kids. Like every time a kid gets another year, then there's another kid who doesn't get a year. Now, it's college women's soccer in the Big Sky, but my niece, who probably doesn't want to be part of the show either, plays for a Big Sky school. And she's been buried behind 5th and 6th year transfers. Can't get on the field. Well, these other kids have more. The whole thing changed. My brother can go into it in amazing depth. Yeah, bonus year for every year. Other kid is, at least my niece is in the is on the team, has gotten the scholarship, is in school, is progressing towards a degree. But yeah, every time one kid gets a break, another kid gets a bad break. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
I screwed up, Yak. Blame me. I did it. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm going full T-Swift here. Spring training's underway in Florida, Arizona with a full slate of games. I meant to celebrate with the new Padre hoodie, which is still pristine. I haven't spilled yogurt on it yet. And I'm in here. I mean, I did wear the San Diego State baseball hoodie that my dad left in his closet, but this thing is, this thing's taken a beating for, 20 years.
The Utes beat your San Diego State.
It happens.
Shut about 7-0.
It happens. I'm not that emotionally tied into San Diego State baseball. This, it's in the back of my dad's closet. It looked good. I figured Dad wants this still to be worn around. I'm going to put it on. Should put on the brand new Padre hoodie to celebrate. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Hall of Fame second baseman Bill Mazeroski passed away at the age of 89. He won 8 Gold Gloves and was Pittsburgh Pirates legend for his Game 7 walk-off home run to lift them to the 1960 World Series title. 2 baseball players ever have hit a walk-off home run to win the World Series. Joe Carter did it in Game 6 for Toronto, but Mazeroski did it in Game 7 to beat the Yankees at the height of their powers. 10-9 in a wild game at Forbes Field, and they mobbed him. And it's like, Mazeroski, he's the Gold Glove second baseman in an era when they didn't expect second baseman to hit a lick. He did. Got the big at bat. A legend in Pittsburgh. DJ and PK.
Hashtag RSL.
Real Salt Lake starts a very young lineup. Predictably cannot score a goal. Predictably plays hard. But predictably gives up 1 goal and loses. Vancouver takes all 3 points in the opener, 1-0. RSL, Vancouver created the best chances. RSL had the best review chances. There were a couple decisions that could have changed the game because RSL did score, but they called it back for offside. And they reviewed it, and they didn't have a good angle, and it was very close. Maybe it was off. Maybe it was on. You'll never know from the 2 reviews that they showed. So, Katranos was offside. He had the assist. It didn't count. Puel had the goal. It didn't count. And they lose 1-0. And Vancouver did have the 3 best chances in the game. Although that did look like a red card. Maybe if RSL had been up a man, would have gone differently. But, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Now they come home to face the Seattle Sounders. They were missing 9 guys. I'm not sure what the starting 11 looks like, but I think they were missing 4 or 5 starters. They might get 1 or 2 of them back. Maybe more. Who knows? But I think if I had to bet right now, they get 2 back. But, we're dealing with when visas are issued by immigration authorities, so, good luck predicting that. There are a couple injuries. Maybe Olatunji can be back. We'll see how that works out. Seattle, home opener Saturday at 5:30. DJ and PK.
Hashtag golf.
Jacob Bridgman was cruising with a 5-stroke lead. Somebody I know almost turned it off. He's wearing a San Diego State baseball hoodie. But there was a birdie here. There were some long par putts. I wonder if he's going to keep making these long par putts. I love the announcer jinx. He's gone 173 consecutive holes without a 3-putt. He's gone 174 consecutive holes without a 3-putt. But nobody had the courage to say it at 18. He left the first one way short. The pressure's on. Tiger's standing at the top of the hill. It's his tournament. He's staring. You're not going to gag this away, are you, kid? Because you missed this one. You're in a three-way playoff. And when he hits a bad first putt for birdie, which he didn't need because he had the lead, pulled it together. 26 years old, just married out of Clemson, and he buries the 3-footer. If that thing, grabbed the edge, spun around, lipped out, no, a 3-way playoff. Rory, who couldn't get anything to go all day, makes one from the fringe. That was ridiculous at the end of the day. Very entertaining. And I can't believe they're talking about moving the Genesis to the playoff. And I get it. It's a legendary course. And if they play there in the summer, they can play the sun's up later. They can play later at night. And they can play primetime golf in the East and make more money. So I get it, but it'll be weird. I mean, the West Coast swing sounds like it's going to evaporate. Maui, gone. La Quinta, gone. Oahu, gone. They're not sure what they're going to do with Pebble Beach, and it sounds like Torrey Pines and Riviera may move to the playoff. It'll be like one stop in Phoenix. And they don't want to do that on Super Bowl weekend? We got to get Bob Casper on to talk about this. What are they doing to my PGA Tour? Oh, it turns out it's not mine. Huh. Okay, well, there you go. Entertaining golf. Tony Finau tied for 28th at 6 under. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Hey, defense.
Around the car. United States with numbers. Walk across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States.
Defense wins championships. We'll always remember Jack Hughes' golden goal. Early in overtime, very quickly. First 100 seconds. However, it was 2-1. And there were some big saves along the way.
Connor Hellebuck.
Oh, my gosh. McKinnon it looked like he had 2/3 of the net to shoot at. That door closed quickly.
and for him to make a comment after the game, I want you to judge for yourself who the better team was today. Dude, score that goal.
There it is, right? But they don't score that goal. Big saves, tons of them. And the U.S. wins 2-1 in overtime on Jack Hughes Gold. They get the gold medal. We will talk about that with Sam Farnsworth in Italy. He told us he was locked down on hockey. Now, I haven't spoken to him, but I'm going to assume he was at that game, and he's going to join us at 8:30. Where else would he have been?
Yeah,
there wasn't much going on.
Yeah, he was there at the Santa Giulia, whatever they call it, yeah.
We'll talk with Sam at 8:30, and Mike Fulta probably has something to say about that. He'll join us at 9 o'clock as well. So there you go. That's what's trending there. Your headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 801-210-6800 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. And that is the wrong line. See what I just did right there? Why'd I do that, Yak? What is trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing, as it has been for years. And there's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Don't try to do it yourself. Call them out. Get pros to do it. And while they're working, you can call Trajan Wealth and work on your retirement. See? Everybody's got a role. Thank you, Shamrock Plumbing. DJ and PK coming up next. Question of the day. It's all about BYU getting their best win of the year. That's next. Stay with us.